As Jesus was speaking to the crowd, his mother and brother stood outside asking to speak to him. Someone told Jesus, "Your mother and your brothers are standing outside, and they want to speak to you." Jesus asked, "Who is my mother? Who are my brothers?" Then he pointed to his disciples and said, "Look, these are my mother and brothers. Anyone who does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." Later that same day, Jesus left the house and sat beside the lake. A large crowd soon gathered around him, so he got into a boat. Then he sat there and taught as the people stood on the shore. He told many stories in the form of parables, such as this one. "Listen, a farmer went out to plant some seeds. As he scattered them across his field, some seeds fell on a footpath, and the birds came and ate them. Other seeds fell on shallow soil with underlying rock. The seeds sprouted quickly because the soil was shallow, but the plants soon wilted under the hot sun, and since they didn't have deep roots, they died. Other seeds fell among thorns that grew up and choked out the tender plants. Still, other seeds fell on fertile soil, and they produced a crop that was 30, 60, and even 100 times as much as had been planted. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand." His disciples came and asked him, "Why do you use parables when you talk to the people?" He replied, "You are permitted to understand the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but others are not. To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given, and they will have an abundance of knowledge. But for those who are not listening, even what little understanding they have will be taken away from them. That is why I use these parables. For they look, but they don't really see. They hear, but they don't really listen or understand. This fulfills the prophecy of Isaiah that says, 'When you hear what I say, you will not understand. When you see what I do, you will not comprehend. For the hearts of these people are hardened, and their ears cannot hear. And they have closed their eyes, so their eyes cannot see, and their ears cannot hear, and their hearts cannot understand. And they cannot turn to me and let me heal them. But blessed are your eyes, because they see. Blessed, and your ears, because they hear. I tell you the truth, many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, but they didn't see it. And they long to hear what you hear, but they didn't hear it. Now listen to the explanation of the parable about the farmer planting seeds. The seed that fell on the footpath represents those who hear the message about the kingdom of heaven and don't understand it. Then the evil one comes and snatches away the seed that was planted in their hearts. The seed on the rocky soil represents those who hear the message and immediately receive it with joy. But since they don't have deep roots, they don't last long. They fall away as soon as they have problems or are persecuted for believing God's word. There are so many people in the world that fall away as soon as they have problems or are persecuted for believing God's word. The seed that fell among the thorns represents those who hear God's word, but all too quickly, the message is crowded out by crowded out by the worries of this life, in the lure of wealth, which we know money is the root of all evil, or the love of money is anyway. But yeah, so no fruit is produced. No fruit there is produced. The seed that fell on good soil represents those who truly hear and understand God's word and produce a harvest of 30, 60, or even 100 times as much as had been planted. So I think the Bible, God is asking you this. In this parable, go through and reread it as many times as you want. Which one of these represents you? Are you someone whose faith is built on a firm foundation? In, is your, whatever cord, that's not easily broken? Is that you? Or are you someone who, you're worried about life and, you're enticed by money, right? And so there's no fruit. He said you'll know them by their fruits, and that they'll know that you're my disciples when by the love you have for one another. So yeah, a lot to think about. Which one of these is you? Some people don't get it, or they don't like it. Whatever it is, they don't stick with it because it wasn't a firm foundation. Maybe they didn't hear the full gospel, so they didn't truly understand it. They only got a partial gospel, which can only get you so far. You have to know the whole gospel, that Jesus died for you and you cannot earn it. You have to accept his free gift of grace alone. Religion tells you to do works that you have, religion says that Jesus did 90% of the work, but you have to do the last 10%. That'll just send you to hell. That's a false gospel. You have to know that it's Christ alone, not Christ plus you. You cannot be God. You cannot save yourself. You can't have any part in saving yourself. All you can do is accept it by believing it, by knowing the truth that Jesus is Lord, that God sent him to shed his blood on the cross, that blood is the payment for you. That is how you are saved. If you know that, you have a much firmer foundation than many people who think that they have to do all of these things, that they have to be good enough to earn their place into heaven. It's like, that's not the gospel. That's not what saves you. It's Jesus that saves you. Just accept that. You just accept it. As long as you know that it's true, you have accepted it. If you know that Jesus is God, you have accepted it. So I hope that blessed someone. Have a wonderful day. Peace.